Some people may not like you. Cam Newton gives Shedeur Sanders a reality check after Wale's black QB comparison. When people used to picture an NFL quarterback, the image was almost always the same: a wide pocket passer who stayed in the pocket, read defenses, and calmly delivered throws. That's because for decades, black athletes were rarely given the chance to play the position. Teams often steered them away from quarterback altogether, converting them into receivers, running backs, or defensive backs. It wasn't a matter of talent, it was about perception and outdated thinking. Eventually, a new wave of black quarterbacks changed the narrative. Players like Randall Cunningham, Steve McNair, etc., redefined the position by showcasing dual threat abilities, combining elite athleticism with a strong arm. But in doing so, they unintentionally helped create a new stereotype that black quarterbacks are athletes first, passers second. On Cam Newton's podcast, rapper Wale emphasized that teams have often required black QBs to be exceptional in ways that go beyond traditional quarterbacking just to give them a shot. Vic brought electrifying speed and a cannon arm. Cam had unmatched power and presence, and Lamar was a once-in-a-generation athlete. These traits helped them break through the barriers that still existed. And that brings us to Shedeur Sanders. Unlike those before him, Shedeur doesn't fit the dual threat mold. He isn't a blazing runner or a bulldozer on the move. He's just an incredibly accurate passer with a deep understanding of the game. But in an NFL still clinging to outdated expectations, especially when it comes to black quarterbacks, being just a great passer isn't always enough. Shedeur's confidence, candor, and willingness to speak his mind have rubbed some people the wrong way. His bold personality on and off the field challenges the NFL's unspoken rules of how they expect quarterbacks, especially black quarterbacks, to behave. Teams often look for humility, relatability, and leadership presence, but the standard is stricter when it comes to players who don't fit the traditional mold. To make matters more complicated, his father, Deion Sanders, is also outspoken and unapologetically himself. That likely amplified concerns for some teams. Rather than confront Coach Prime directly, organizations opted to leak anonymous reports that criticize Shedeur's character, professionalism, and potential fit as a franchise QB. It's the nature of the business. When people can't say something publicly, they let whispers do the damage. Freedom of speech is not free. Everything you say and everything you do is a way for people to judge you in some type of context. What Shedeur was doing, what Shedeur was saying, what his father was saying, and I have utmost respect for Prime in a way that his father has engulfed his children in a way when you put a microscope to, okay, you're playing QB, you're coming to this league, you understand how we doing certain things. There's certain things you got to incorporate too. Cam Newton, no stranger to criticism himself, explained it best. Relatability and likability are overrated. Not everyone's going to like you, he said, and that's something Shedeur Sanders must come to terms with. Listen, and this is coming from this, there's so much relatability to what Shedeur went through that I can relate to as well. Some people may not like you. They just don't like you. You've got to be fine with that. There's also the matter of perception. In today's NFL, people only notice a quarterback if he clearly stands out as the most talented player on his team, especially when he doesn't fit the prototypical mold. But having Travis Hunter on the field with him may have hurt Shedeur's visibility. Was so much focus on the Heisman winner's two-ways brilliance, people overlooked the Colorado alum's calm efficiency and pinpoint accuracy. Ironically, that spotlight imbalance gave QBs like Cam Ward an edge in the eyes of scouts. Still, breaking norms is never easy, but Shedeur Sanders is already reshaping expectations in his own way. Now, he just needs to keep his head down and stay focused, letting his work and talent speak for themselves. If he continues to grind, the Browns, or any team he plays for, won't be able to overlook him. And when his opportunity comes, he needs to seize it with both hands and make the most of it. In a world where sports heroes are both idolized and scrutinized, every action, every tweet, every touchdown pass can echo far beyond the stadium. Recently, a poignant moment unfolded in the realm of football and culture, a convergence of fame, race, and expectation, when NFL veteran Cam Newton offered a powerful reality check to college star Shedeur Sanders. The trigger? A viral comment by rapper Wale comparing Sanders to the archetype of the black quarterback who challenges conventions. The Wale comparison, Wale, known for his poetic lyricism and thoughtful takes on black identity, tweeted something that rippled through the sports community. Shedeur Sanders is what they feared Cam Newton would be. The comment was wrapped in reverence, implying that Sanders embodies the unapologetic black quarterback, talented, confident, maybe even defiant, that America struggles to fully embrace. For many, it was a compliment, placing Shedeur in the lineage of quarterbacks like Cam Newton, Michael Vick, and Lamar Jackson. Men who didn't just play the game, but changed its culture. But for Newton, the comparison held weight, perhaps even a warning. Cam's reality check, Cam Newton didn't shy away from the moment. On his podcast, 4th and 1, Newton addressed Shedeur directly, almost like an older brother sitting a younger sibling down after a victory parade. Some people may not like you, Newton said with a mix of admiration and concern. You're not just playing football anymore. You're representing something bigger, and that makes you a target. Newton wasn't throwing shade. He was speaking from experience. He knows what it's like to electrify a stadium and still be called arrogant, to be MVP one year and villain the next, to celebrate a touchdown with joy only to be told to act like you've been there before. For Newton, the criticism never stemmed from just the game. It came from what he represented, a confident, outspoken black man at the helm of an overwhelmingly white institution, the legacy of the black quarterback. The quarterback has long been the face of a team, cerebral, controlled, articulate. For decades, these were coded expectations. Black quarterbacks disrupted that narrative, and not always by choice. Doug Williams broke barriers in the Super Bowl. Warren Moon had to go to Canada before the NFL took him seriously. Michael Vick brought flair and fear. Cam Newton added power and personality. And now, Shedeur Sanders is redefining the position for Gen Z. Social media savvy, fashion forward, and raised by a legend, Coach Prime Sanders. But with visibility comes vulnerability. Cam Newton's message wasn't about playing better football. It was about playing the bigger game, public perception. Shedeur isn't just a college quarterback. He's a symbol. And like Cam, he'll have to deal with people who judge his demeanor before they judge his stats. They'll call it cocky when he celebrates. They'll question his leadership when he speaks his mind. They'll say he was handed too much too soon, never acknowledging the weight of expectation he carries. Swagger meets scrutiny. What's fascinating about this moment is how it reflects a generational dialogue. Shedeur Sanders represents the unapologetic confidence of today's young athletes, the kind who document their lives on Instagram, build personal brands before draft day, and carry the legacy of social justice protests sparked by athletes like Colin Kaepernick. He's not just on the field, he's online, in culture, in conversation. But that confidence, that visibility, comes with a cost. Newton's advice is simple, but layered. Be ready. Not everyone will clap for you. It's a creativity killer for some. When you realize not everyone wants you to win, not because you're not good, but because you don't fit the mold, it can make you shrink. But it can also make you rise. Newton's warning was also a challenge. Embrace the burden, wear the crown, but don't forget the battlefield you're on. Shedeur's path forward. So what does Shedeur do with this wisdom? He listens, he reflects, and he plays. Because if there's one thing both Newton and Sanders understand, it's that greatness requires both thick skin and tender purpose. You have to know who you are before they tell you who you're not. And you have to keep winning, not just for the scoreboard, but for every kid watching, every young black quarterback wondering if the world will ever embrace them fully, not just when they're quiet and humble, but when they're bold and brilliant. Cam Newton's message is not a cautionary tale. It's a creative torch. It's saying, be yourself, be excellent, and be ready, because you're not just changing the game, you are the game. And no matter how many people don't like you, they can't ignore you.